Yeah, I mean, I think the focus has to be on relationship. That there has to be a level of number one, humility. Be willing to go into some of these conversations, not expecting to walk out with a perfect narrative. I think a lot of what happens in conversations about race is both sides going with this narrative that they want to keep as clean as possible. The problem is that narrative is usually mixed in with pride and is somewhat fictional. I often say that very few people walked up to Jesus with a perfect narrative and walked away with that narrative intact. So we should all be humble enough to say, you know what, we have gotten some things wrong. Have the patience to get to know people and understand where they're coming from, and then just be prayerful. It's not an easy, as you all know, I'm sure it's not an easy process, but it's certainly worth it.
Yeah. And this week in our reading group, we have a reading group of about 15 to 20 people who've been enjoying your book. And maybe you could give a quick shout out to them. We're going to be meeting Sunday night, and we're going to be talking about your final couple chapters on civility in particular. So just a quick question about civility. I don't know why you wasted time writing that chapter. It's very theoretical. I see nothing but civility in politics around me today. But if we were to have issues with civility today, what would you say to the followers of Christ on how to engage culture in a more civil way?
Yeah, I would say as I've heard it been called, this is about public grace, and if we're people that are full of grace, then certainly
I
we
love
can
that.
show that grace to people that we disagree with. And so, if we want to get things done, if we have issues that we think are important and people that we want to help and advocate for, we're going to do that in a better way when we show grace. I don't know of any time that I've gone up to somebody and screamed at them or called them names, and they actually ended up agreeing with what I said. It's more likely that if I heard them out, that if I affirmed what I could and what they were saying, that they then might see where I was coming from. And so we are better advocates. We are better citizens when we act with grace and civility.
Yeah, I've never known that either, where, somebody says, I'm sure glad you yelled and screamed at me. I get it
Yeah,
now.
exactly.